I'm gonna make a really quick video, but this is just gonna be a pretty self-explanatory, and it's a video that I need to actually make because many individuals start attributing their problems to the devil himself when it is the person's own responsibility that the individual actually got tempted. So I'll repeat it again, that it's a person's own responsibility that the individual got tempted. When you get into spiritual warfare, one of the main things that is very common in individuals is for them to receive retaliation. This retaliation is not really, there's a certain attitude that comes with this way of thinking, with this when you approach this event happening to you, when you feel like the enemy is retaliating. But in all truth, it's actually Jesus Christ who is in control of the situation, and essentially he's letting you know your weaknesses when you're fighting against the enemy himself. And when he lets you know your weaknesses, he's basically letting you know that you actually got tempted by the enemy, and now the retaliation is from within, essentially, and the retaliation has to deal with you yourself falling into this temptation or your weaknesses, and succumbing to the schemes of the devil. So although the devil does come inside of people's lives to test them, and just like how it's written in Job, how he asked or God told him that he could test Job. It's the same concept, and although many individuals equate retaliation or their own personal rebukes to the devil, it's not really in harmony with the truth, because if an individual was not tempted, and if an individual did not fall into the sin, obviously it has nothing to do with the retaliation. It has everything to do with the individual's personal moral compass and integrity. But if the individual does fall into temptation, this is when they begin to play the blame game, and they start blaming other individuals for their problems, even though they themselves are the ones who succumb to this temptation or this sin. So I need individuals to keep that in mind, that you guys are obviously more than conquerors through this, because everything that is given to you is given to you. You can have whatever you want. As soon as God hears your prayers, you get what you want. You obviously have to bind and loose and actually do the work and be busy, and not be lazy about the situations that you'll have to be doing. But you must be productive and actually taking this serious, and even making it like your job or your work, or obviously making it a career of yours that you must actually be taking and hearkening to it, and actually being serious, where you have to please your boss and you have to be employee of the month type of stuff. And this is something that many individuals need to hearken to and lay to heart, and actually realize that it's the temptations that beset individuals, and they fall into these temptations, and they obviously, what happens. Judgment comes, and either you get mercy or you get rebuked. And often, obviously, many individuals are running out of their mercy, and their judgment is coming. And this is when individuals begin to get angry at the retaliation that they are actually, quote unquote retaliation that they're being met with. So obviously the Lord is the light of your scriptures. The devil can do nothing without the legality that God has given him himself. So obviously the devil is heavily limited by the Lord himself. And in a way where people begin to blame it on the retaliation, these individuals are not actually taking responsibility for their own flaws and their own mistakes. And when this stuff actually happens, obviously these individuals they enter a loop, and in this loop, these people never realize that the real problem is actually themselves, and so they keep playing this blame game over and over again, while demons begin to, obviously, they found even another weak spot. They found two weak spots, so to speak, and obviously this is false doctrine in itself. As clear, as blunt as it may sound, this is false doctrine. And if God does not have grace or mercy over your life, you can't go to hell for thinking in this way, and for blaming everything on the devil when it was clearly your own personal flaws and imperfections, so to speak, that Christ is actually trying to get rid of. So please, people, hearken and actually listen to this. Please keep that in mind, that you yourself are responsible. The devil can't touch you if you don't sin, because everything that is sin is from the kingdom of darkness. And obviously, these sins come inside of your life. Other individuals may not be as susceptible to the sins that you are more susceptible towards, but it's always important to actually be investigating your hearts, and to actually be seeing where your weaknesses are, and obviously, to mature and to actually take responsibility that, what, yeah, I did mess up, and that's basically it. And obviously you need help, you need more graces, so you need to fast, you need to humble yourself down, as well as binding the demons and the things that are actually letting you that are leading you into temptation. Obviously, an individual must be praying to Our Father, because when you pray to Our Father, it says, "Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, and deliver us from evil. For yours is the kingdom, the power, and the glory." So it says, and lead us not into temptation. You're praying to God essentially that you do not be led into these temptations that will actually make you fall, and to preserve you essentially. And obviously God knows how to preserve His saints. So keep that in mind. That's one of the most important things that you should be praying to the Lord God, is not to be led into temptation. Because some individuals are a lot weaker than they think, and when they fall into these temptations, they start blaming it on retaliation, when it's in fact their own personal fault. So although this may be encouraging to know that you're actually doing so much damage to the kingdom of darkness that they can't do anything to stop you, obviously it also brings awareness of one's own flaws and imperfections, and an individual is in fact not perfect, but you are called to be perfect as God is perfect. And that's basically about that. I know in my past videos I've been talking a lot about spiritual warfare, but this is mainly what this is all about. It's not about it is, well, given the circumstances of the times that we're in right now, this is not at all about having talks and talking to individuals, and having not obviously every Christian who's filled with the Holy Spirit right now is encamped on the battlefield, so to speak, and individuals are actually fighting, or even in the trenches. Individuals are in the trenches and they're having conversations with one another while there's a war going on in front of everyone else that's coming along. So as you can see, this is something that must be viewed as a full-time job, or a full-time whatever, and this is something that you must be looking at things, because it is a full-time job, and it is full-time. So obviously individuals need to really buckle. Individuals really need to buckle down and actually see actually see that they actually that they themselves have to take their salvation serious, which many individuals are not really ready for that or any of that or things of that nature. Obviously, get rid of these things and start binding and loosing the things that are going to prevent you from actually accepting this as a full-time job. Uh, Anything else that I want to add? I can't really think of anything else. People stay on your toes. Watch at all times. Do not let any of these nasty devils on you. Keep being diligent and persistent no matter what, and pushing through and persevering and doing all the works that the angels do, because everything that is not of the spirit is obviously of the flesh. So obviously an individual who embarks on this, or who even takes it serious and hearkens to this, obviously this individual must mentally prepare themselves for these types of tests, and to actually view things as God views them, and that if things are flesh with God, things are just flesh with God, and nothing is going to change. If things are spirit with God, then things are spirit with God, and nothing is ever going to change about that. So in the same way where you can't make a king serve you, you have to be serving the king himself, and it doesn't work with God meets you at your standards, but you must meet God at his standards. And that's basically about it. Every king deserves the best. And obviously, this is the mentality that you must be brought into it, and you must look at God as a king and a great king, and you must actually see that he obviously deserves the best, and not this minimal effort and this what is that called? This backsliding, or not backsliding, but this holding back your actual potential, or even your energy, and holding back and not giving it your all, which every Christian must be doing. God is not really the individual who doesn't know anything, or he doesn't know when you're holding back, or he doesn't know when you could do better. He obviously knows if you can and when you can. He knows your weaknesses and your weak points. So obviously these are key points to pray about when you can pray or whenever, but that's basically about it. I don't really have much else to say about that. What I said about the retaliation, obviously it takes the attention from the devil, and it focuses on yourself. And when you focus on yourself, you begin to clean the inside of your cup and become whiter, so to speak. And that's probably one of the most important things that's the main reason why you should be a Christian. Well, not a Christian, but this is called regeneration, and this is what is the gospel in itself, and it's a reconciliation back to God through following this principle of regeneration, and you're not degenerating. Whereas where you degenerate, your image becomes decrepit and old looking and ruggy, and you start looking like an old man at a young age. And or just you start just degenerating. Even right now, I'm noticing more individuals who are more of the suburban individuals who had more of a moral integrity. These individuals have essentially backslide even worse than I have ever thought possible. And these individuals will come and they scream. Obviously, an individual has an Instagram account can actually see these things on the Explore page, which I was commanded not to visit anymore because of all the fiery darts that are from the devil. And obviously, it's not that an individual can't use their shield of faith to quench them all up, but obviously it's completely unnecessary to be it's a waste of time, so to speak. But you could look on the Explore page to see all these they call them Karens, but whatever, it's just meant to insult and be derogatory to these individuals, but it's very disrespectful to another human being to call these individuals such a derogatory name, or Kevin's. Obviously these individuals are humans and they actually hear you, but it's obviously this is not right in itself, and obviously you see these individuals who look like normal white suburban people are just all of a sudden, lashing out, and even cursing, and even more unprofessional individuals who go into these jobs and they just start cursing with the customers. I mean, this is unheard of realistically, and I've never thought I would ever see the day where individuals would be cursing with customers as a job, where it's your job and your profession to be professional. These individuals will curse, or will curse, and everybody will think it's cool because they're all young, and obviously things are a mess. Never would I have ever thought that individual and professional employees would be actually cursing, and even saying just just not being professional, and keeping things in a professional environment, so to speak. And this is truly sad for the condition of this nation, because individuals just do not care anymore about anything, and they'll even think that if I curse with this individual, this individual will think I'm cool, or that we're cool, or everything. And this is the way of thinking that these individuals have. And obviously it's kind of sad, but it's whatever. Obviously pray about these things and start binding and loosing these devils up that are actually trying to destroy this professional, and trying to destroy this professional way of thinking, and to actually keep things professional, and to actually keep things in a way of thinking where you are obligated to act in a certain manner when you take a certain job. I'm sure corporate and CEOs do not like the fact that their company is being portrayed in such a low way. But obviously you must be praying about these types of things, and to actually ensure every individual is making the company look good, so to speak, and not running around, just blabbing off and being in yuck mouths, and saying all these other types of things that they shouldn't be saying to begin with, because it's their job to be professional. It's quite annoying to see these types of individuals who think they're really cool because they talk in this manner. And words that are completely made up. They have no real meaning behind them, and they make all this stuff up. They flick people off, and it's just very unprofessional of individuals to take a job and not to take the job as serious as the company demands. And they just go into work just thinking that they're going to get an easy paycheck, and they're going to do whatever they want, and they can act in whatever manner they want. And this is the stuff that gets individuals fired. And these individuals are still obviously still working there. But this is one aspect of what I see on a daily basis. Individuals' unprofessionalness, if that's a word. And this is just one of the many things that is wrong with this that is going on with this country. Spiritual warfare. I'm still going to be talking about spiritual warfare. Obviously, be binding and loosing these types of things, because these are our strongholds, so to speak, on individuals. The individuals think it's alright to act in this manner. Be binding the strong man of people. As an individual who actually is a Christian, you should not at all be not delivering individuals who you see on a daily basis. You have the legality and the power to actually do these types of things, and not only the power, you have the power to cast away their supposed quote unquote power, and you completely leave these individuals' power, showing who actually has the true power. Um, and obviously, obviously, this is one of the things that individuals must be doing and delivering every individual who you come across when you go to the store, or when you do this, or when you do that. When you're running your errands, or even at work, just to ensure that you have a healthy work environment, and not have a work environment where everybody is all disorganized and all non-organized. I myself have actually prayed for the organization of my team, so to speak, at a warehouse, and obviously I've seen the positive results coming from it, and we actually were doing really good. So it's not even that this stuff is it doesn't work. This stuff definitely works, and not only does it boost, it actually helps with the work production, which individuals must be doing while you work, and to be binding and loosing the things that are actually that are counterproductive. And that's basically it about that. And this is just the work environment aspect of it. This is not the aspect of what I was speaking about earlier. This is about delivering every individual who you come across. You could apply the same principle and the same concept to the town that you live in, so that everything is healthy in your town that you live in. It's a healthy environment, and individuals, and obviously it's good. What else? I think that about does it. Be binding and loosing. Don't be negligent. Keep things simple. That way you can actually do more work. If your workplace where you work at is serving things that are obviously sin, you should not be working there. So obviously this doesn't really apply there. Just let it be destroyed. If it's dealing with cigarettes, or is dealing with pork, or is dealing with shrimp, or things of that nature, just let the establishment be destroyed. God is not divided. His kingdom is strong. Uh, just let that be destroyed in itself. That doesn't really matter at all to me. I'm more focused about the things that are actually going according to God's laws and God's jurisdictions. Although you should deliver the individuals who are working in these places to get them out of these places, you should not at all be boosting these individuals' money counts, because these individuals are selling sin. So in the same kind of principle, where an individual sells heroin to a mother's son, and these individuals expect some type of reward from their mother. This is the same principle, where these individuals are selling sin to God's children. They're expecting some sort of reward from God. That's not gonna happen at all anytime soon. This is two sides of the coin, obviously. You glorify what is good, and you glorify what is from God, and you destroy everything that is not from the Holy Spirit. Just like how Jesus Christ said, I didn't come to bring peace, I came to bring division. And that's basically this is the same principle every individual should have. And that's basically about it. Support kosher stuff, support the Jewish people, support Israel, support Jerusalem, and that basically about does it. Bind and loose, loose enough legions to get the job done. Bind the devils and that are hindering this types of thing, and start hindering them back. Bind the princes. You have the authority and the power. Bind their dominions and their thrones, and how it's written in Ephesians 6:12. Don't be intimidated at all by these individuals. They're just trying to intimidate you, and that's basically it. Just cast away their power, and your power. Obviously, light casts out darkness, and that's basically about it about that. Um. Uh. hmm. I'm trying to think about what else I had to talk about or speak about. Rewatch my videos. If not everything that I already said or spoken is just the same repetitive things that I've said. Look at my last two posts. My last two posts were about retaliation, which I spoke on, and the other post was about actually binding and loosing, and it's just it's just the same old stuff. This stuff actually works, and to be doing the works of the angels persistently, and to just be blowing past these things that are in an attempt to actually hinder you from doing this work, or and an attempt to hinder you from actually being perfected and regenerating. And this brings me to my next point. An individual must be regenerating into Christ-like images. An individual must not be degenerating as a Christian. If an individual is degenerating or backsliding, obviously this is not a good sign for an individual who claims to be a Christian. This individual is falling into too many temptations and falling into sin, and this individual is essentially getting cursed and rebuked by God. This is not good, and obviously this is very frowned upon as a Christian. Evidently, it's pretty obvious to know and to actually see. Um, and that basically about does it about that. Pray to be a regenerate to Christ, and pray pray never to backslide to Christ. Pray to be stronger. Use God's graces, as many graces as He actually has. Use them all, and they're a lot. He's this infinite amount of graces. Um. Go to war against these chains and these jobs that are actually going against that are actually in sin, essentially. Like Walmart in itself, they sell pork and other things like that, and shrimp. What else? Places that like gas stations that sell cigarettes and other things like that. Obviously, you should view things just like how King David viewed things, how he removed everything that God hated, and you should keep in the same way of thinking, where you should actually remove everything that God hates. Not to waver and to just be bold and just get rid of all of it. And and that about does it. And jewels and other things like that, to be going to war against these types of things. That's why I tell you to only support kosher places and things of that nature. The things that are kosher do not stray away, obviously, because these individuals are God-fearing individuals. They do not stray away from the scriptures themselves, and they're all about the Old Testament. Uh, the law of Moses is not abolished. Now I just leave it at that. That's self-explanatory. Um, and obviously you must be smashing the enemy to pieces, using crisis strategies and counsels to destroy all the companies and industries that are blatantly against God and itself. Obviously, these companies are working one on one with the media, which I clearly just spoke a video about where individuals were the media is being used by the devil, and the devil is using the media to put as many fiery darts and people of his fiery darts as possible, to try to get these individuals to stumble and fall into sin, and then they become the slaves of this sin. Free the people who are slaves to the dietary laws. These individuals are still in bondages for eating pork and serving pork, or shrimp, or whatever Christ God said himself that is an abomination to eat. These individuals are slaves to this sin, whether they acknowledge it or whether they don't. And then there's still a strong man to all this. So although they have they have that sin that is inside of them, where they eat pork and they eat this and that, they still have the strong man that is controlling the other ones to get these individuals to actually fall into more sins, and that being one of them. Bind up their strong men, bind up your neighbor's strong men. Go to war against everything that is, and hit them where it hurts. Send poverty, destruction, and judgment to these individuals. And this principle and these judgments have already come on these individuals. When you go to Walmart and you actually notice things, or even in one of my last posts where Victoria's Secret and other things and other things were actually suffering heavy cash damages because of the coronavirus. Obviously, these things were from the kingdom of darkness, and God is essentially, putting them to the sword and destroying and hitting them where it hurts, and sending poverty, destruction, and judgment and judgment. When the judgment was decreed, and these individuals are going to become impoverished, and filing for bankruptcy and doing these types of things. Obviously, God is not playing around when it comes to selling sin, and God is not playing around when it comes to the kingdom of darkness. So keep that, remember that, and obviously pray about that, and keep binding and loosing and going against the things that God hates, and to read about the things that King David did, and how he took out the high places and the incenses, and the things of that nature. And obviously you must be applying that spiritually to the times of now. You must be applying that to the times in our times, that about does it, and to be actually people after God's heart. Pray for Trump. Obviously, every day be praying for Trump, that he makes, and to knock down all the things that the enemy puts up against Trump, and to actually be helping Trump, and to aid him, and to not what is that called? And to not be negligent of the people or the person who's actually leading your country, that he's always making the wise decisions, because this individual has been put in a very high position. If he's put in a high position, he's being expected of. God is expecting a lot from this individual, that he always makes the right decisions, that he's a man after God's own heart. Keep that principle in the way of thinking, as well as all the other politicians on the face of this earth, using crisis counsels and strategies to come, to actually find out a solution for the mess that is going on in the world, and do exploits. Send the spirit of revelation and truth, that you may find out all the corruption that is going on in America, as well as all the other nations who are not really as strong in the kingdom of or organized as America is in the kingdom of darkness. Obviously, a lot of other nations are a lot easier to destroy and to expose corruption of, but America in itself is very secretive. It's very secretive in itself, but obviously you just cast this out and you bind and loose the what is directing the agents of these individuals, as every individual who's being corrupted is obviously in a pact with the devil himself. Which is why you see California all mess, all in a mess, and you know it's always like something new in California, and it's just terrible, and and Hollywood happens to be in the same state as California. Obviously, these things are there's some wicked practices going on in California that is leading these individuals into temptation, and they're succumbing to this temptation. Uh, and I think that about does it. Pray for my loved ones. Pray for my children. Keep praying for my children that they're actually wise. Um, what else? Pray for my family that they're actually wise and that they make wise decisions, that they're not led into temptations. Pray for my ancestors, that they be saved, as well as your ancestors. Pray for my bloodline, I guess, and that it may be clean, as well as your bloodline, that it may be clean and purified in the blood of the Lamb. Uh, uh, sheesh. Pray for my haters. Pray for my lovers. Pray for everything and anything. Mm, uh, I can't really think. Obviously, just be praying diligently. Get closer to God. Pray to get closer to God. Be smart. Be wise. Do all the works that the angels do. Because everything that the angels do is spirits, and obviously these individuals. When you get grounded on this principle, obviously, you begin to become a super regenerate, and you've already gotten rid of well, not the misunderstanding. Now you have the understanding that goes along with the spirit and the flesh, and why everything of the flesh is obviously the devil's. And when you actually follow everything that the spirit does, the spirits don't, the Holy Spirit or the angels don't actually ever do the things that the fallen angels do. So obviously that's self-explanatory in itself, right? You can understand that concept at first glance. Um, hmm. Pray to get rid of the rebukes that are inside of you. Another thing that I know, this is a touchy subject for many people, because many people don't like to call out other individuals' flaws. But whatever is your flaw is actually a demon in itself that you must cast out. So obviously, if you could cast out this demon that is causing you to have this flaw to begin with, for whatever it may be or whatever it is, um, uh, you could actually be regenerate. You could actually have something new, and your image will return back to that of God. And obviously, these things are very easy to do. You could cast out the things that are causing you to be rebuked, and that's a pretty simple concept to understand for individuals. That you could just cast this out. If something is causing you to look not so a flaw of yours that you just personally don't like in yourself, I'll just say that. Uh, you can just cast it out. This was a judgment from God Himself, as He rebuked you, and he's essentially trying to make you look like a beast, so you actually understand what you're doing is wrong, and that you're actually a human, so you should act like a human being. And that's a pretty simple concept to understand. It's very easy to cast out your flaws. Many individuals just do not like talking about this, because individuals don't want to hurt other individuals' feelings. But you know, obviously, I'm not the type of person that would call an individual the whatever, you know. But obviously, an individual must be healing that which is broken, and be helping every individual out that is actually broken. I have no problem giving people blessings where individuals are broken. Obviously, this is something that an individual must be what is it, counterproductive, or no, must be counterproductive against the devil. Individuals must definitely be doing that, and to actually be restoring this individual, because once you are in heaven, you know, something happens to you, you know, God forbid, you go to heaven. Obviously, you get restored and back to how you originally should have been, and obviously, when you think of it like that, obviously you know that these things are obviously able to be cast out, and it belongs in hell, and it obviously doesn't belong in heaven. So obviously on earth as it is in heaven for you. That's the principle you should keep to yourself, and you should hearken to, and lay the heart to. Uh, don't beat yourself up. You make mistakes. It is what it is. Uh, these rebukes do come in your life because of your own personal mistakes. But if you get rid of the stuff that is causing you to stumble and to make this mistake, obviously you begin the regeneration process. God definitely has plenty in his body parts room. He has plenty of healings and plenty of new body parts, new noses, new whatever, new ears, new lips, new teeth. Whatever, you know. Obviously, it doesn't really matter. It's all specifically that it's the sign that it's breaking you, so to speak. Obviously, you must have feet to quick to do good, and obviously there's certain things that are breaking you. So obviously, you know, the problem is inside and then manifests on the outside. If people make mistakes, don't beat yourself up about it. And that's basically about it about that. Heal that which is broken. And deliver individuals and the strong men. Grace and peace be multiplied unto you, and the love of Jesus Christ reign in your hearts. Amen.